You know what, guys? It boggles my mind how unprepared young men are when they leave school, especially those from deprived areas. I wonder if it is true that social mobility was better 200 years ago compared to today. Today in work, I seen a young man who seemed completely oblivious to life after school. What will it be today?
Short back and side, please.
Are your exams coming soon?
Not sure. Are you a teacher?
Not anymore. Any idea what you want to do when you grow up?
Not sure, but I would like to work with my hands.
That's very good. I remember preparing for exams at your age. It was quite stressful. May I ask if you have any family members who have been through the education system?
No, mate, I really hate school.
Schools can be toxic. The school I went to was dreadful, but when I look back, I cannot help but feel sorry for the teachers that I once loathed.
Why is that?
The teachers had to look after 35 children in each class. That's 140 children per day. They are undervalued by society and certainly underpaid. How can we expect them to be good teachers?
That may explain why they are not really interested in teaching.
Probably.
So you said you was previously a teacher. What did you teach?
I was an English teacher for 3 years. I found it too stressful and called it quits.
I really fancy working with cars.
I grew up in my father's barbershop and have been cutting hair all my life. It's actually not a bad profession to fall back on, so there is wisdom in what you said earlier. It really is useful to be skilled with your hands. That's fantastic. My brother was a mechanic, and I really wanted to go down that route.
So what happened?
I have asthma, and the smell of petrol really triggered it.
That's a shame.
Well, do you know anything about getting into mechanic courses?
They do not teach mechanics.
You can actually start now in school.
Are you serious?
Make sure you leave with good grades in maths, English, and science. Yeah, all the good courses require this. It's really not an easy feat, especially if you don't study for them, but there are simple tricks you can do to get those grades.
Yeah, like what?
Have a guess.
Working hard.
No, not really.
Then what?
Study smart. It's all about being strategic. Have you ever heard of past exam papers?
Not really, no.
You mean school has not done any with you?
Not really.
Then you need to do two things. Step 1, go to the websites and print off 30 past papers and the model answers. Step 2, practice, practice, practice. You may find school boring. If you get stuck, you may seek the wisdom of CHATAI.
Thanks, mate. But it's hard to study when in the current school culture.
Yeah, I've always found school subcultures really weird, but just remember when your school days are over, you will face the world alone.
Yeah, society on the whole is in a bad state. I was quite humbled and saddened by the client I visited today. Try the sandwich.
I will try it later. My appetite is not too good today.
Did you get the result of your biopsy?
No, the appointment is next week.
That must be weighing on your mind.
Not really. I should be okay. I have to be honest though. The doctor did say that with all the weight loss and the chest pains, it is likely to be bad news.
Do you have anyone to go with you? If you let me know the time, I will do my best to try and attend with you. I am sure they will be able to shed light on the matter and help clear some of the uncertainty.
That's awfully kind.
Do you have any family?
No, I do not have any. I did get married, but I was not lucky enough to have children. All my family are in Algeria. I came here when I was 20 and spent all my time just working and trying to save enough to go back home. Now I feel like I have been away too long and I feel like I have nothing to go back to.
You must feel isolated.
You get used to it.
I need to go on my next visit. I have stocked your cupboard. The sooner you let me know the date of the appointment, the better.
I came across a really interesting passenger today. He was going back home. He came and lived here for 30 years. It was a really interesting conversation I had. So where are you heading?
To John Lennon Airport, please.
Going anywhere nice?
Yeah, I'm going back home after 30 years.
Where's home?
Yemen.
You have not been there for 30 years. So what's prompted you to leave?
Yeah, it's time to go back home. The political situation is not ideal, but I do feel like it is now or never. The country is a mess and is arguably more unstable than when my father left. I think most immigrants dream of going to the West, getting an education, a skill, or make money and then depart back home. Some scholars advocate for living in non-Muslim countries for the least time possible. My specific case is I have got all the qualifications and experience to make a living back in Yemen, and possibly make a contribution to building the society. Do not take it the wrong way. I am very grateful to this country for providing me with a free education and health care. I will always be grateful to this country.
Do you have family in Yemen?
From my father's side, all his family are born here. From my mother's side, they are all in Yemen. Families in Yemen are like families in Victorian times. They are massive and tightly knit.
It does sound like you have embraced the challenge.
Nothing in life is easy.
I assume you are a Muslim.
Yes, most of the people from Yemen are Muslim.
As Salam Alaikum, brother, I have been a Muslim for 14 years.
You must get this question a lot, but what made you convert to Islam?
I grew up as a cultural Christian. When I was a teenager, I started going to the church searching for answers, and none of the answers to my questions resonated with my inner core. So I started looking into Buddhism, Judaism, and then I reluctantly became agnostic. Later, when I was volunteering, one of my colleagues was a Muslim who asked me why I never looked into Islam as part of my journey. I explained the simple answer was, Islam never even crossed my mind in 4 years of searching. When I looked at the foundations of Islam, the principles resonated with my inner being. I was like, yes, every question has a satisfactory answer. I really like that.
MashaAllah, how is life as a Muslim?
It is the best thing I have ever done.
Do you do 5 daily prayers?
Of course, what kind of Muslim does not pray?
How has the British society treated a white British Muslim?
When white British Muslims convert to Islam, they are told the Shahada, told how to pray, and when they go home they tend to become socially isolated. Sometimes the families and close friends can be hostile. I was lucky because my family was very accepting. In terms of the progress, we have managed to get 2 married couples to rent in my wife's large house. We are a small, tight-knit community. The women keep each other company and the men are usually out most of the day working. All the men pray together, and during Ramadan, there is a very nice vibe present.
Do you have Muslim friends?
Yeah, I have 2 others who are white British Muslims, and I do have plenty of Muslim friends from all over the world.
Are you married?
Alhamdulillah, I have been married for 2 years. It is 3rd time lucky.
Marriage is not easy.
Are you married?
Yes, I got married 4 years ago. She is from Yemen. It was an arranged marriage. How about yourself?
My wife is a Muslim convert. We met through mutual friends.
While I have never considered the idea of a subculture of white British Muslims, after all, you have communities of Pakistanis, Indians, Arabs, Turks. I think this is a fantastic concept and may Allah reward your efforts. Have you made progress with the plan?
Alhamdulillah, we have a Muslim household, and inshallah it will increase. We have made contacts with the local community, but we have received mixed messages.
Mixed messages.
All the non-white Muslims are supportive, and lots of the white British Muslim converts are weary of the idea.
Indeed, Islam supersedes culture, but it does not erase culture. Do you ever worry that community may take a nationalistic turn?
I would consider that a failure.
As would most Muslims.
Brother, you are really selfless to leave this country for a potential war zone.
It is my duty as a Muslim. I do feel if I stayed any longer, I would be turning my back on my country and my people. I would like my children to be brought up in a Muslim country. I think secular liberalism has gone too far, but to be honest, I think it is only right for Muslims who are privileged positions to make an effort to return and build their countries.
Brother, you do not have to explain to me why the Middle East is a mess. I cannot believe the world has stood by while the world's first televised genocide is streamed. It makes you think. Why?
Why, oh why, oh why? I think if Palestine can be liberated, the whole Middle East can be liberated.
Gentlemen, I am off to work on my sci-fi novel. Isha prayer is at 10 o'clock. See you guys in the prayer room. Salam alaikum. A Galactic Manual of Doomed Civilization. Chapter 3. A Guide to the Galactic Colonization Problem. In the galactic backwater of Sector ZZ9 plural Z Alpha, there existed a tiny blue planet where a tribe of mammals developed a peculiar form of nationalism. This form, dubbed Zionism by the guide to avoid copyright issues and lawsuits, involved returning to a small plot of land they believed was given to them by a powerful intergalactic bureaucrat several thousand years ago. This deity, known colloquially as the property manager of the universe, allegedly granted them this land contract in a document no one had seen, but which everyone argued about vigorously. The Zionists then set about reclaiming this land using the tried and tested technique of strategic historical memory, selective myth archiving, and state-of-the-art laser fencing. They were opposed by the Nabpaltinians, who had unfortunately already been living on the land for centuries, and arguably longer than ancient Judea. The Nabpaltinians suffered dearly because of intergalactic arms dealers, historical guilt complexes, and a creature known as the international community, which often issued strongly worded memos that were immediately filed into a small black hole labeled concern. The Zionists built a planetary security barrier, which was 800 feet tall and came equipped with sarcasm cannons, guilt deflectors, and irony-neutralizing drones. They claimed it was necessary for survival, though critics noted it looked suspiciously like a massive land grab with architectural ambitions. Meanwhile, on another part of the planet, a Vogon named Bari III tried to resolve the situation by issuing expulsion notices to entire villages in bureaucratic rhyming couplets, which were so excruciatingly bad they caused spontaneous peace talks just to make them stop. Chapter 42. The Galactic Ineffectiveness of Almost Everyone. The guide notes that when it comes to opposing injustice, there are two main factions in the galaxy, those who are loudly useless and those who are quietly useless. This is especially true on planet Earth, where both the right-wing pro-Palestinian Nebula and the left-wing Solidarity Comet have spent the last several decades orbiting the problem at safe rhetorical distances. The right-wing pro-Palestinian Front. This faction, known officially as the Free Market for Other People's Liberation, generally dislikes the apartheid state TM not because of the occupation, ethnic cleansing, or systemic discrimination, but because they also dislike Muslims, Jews, human rights, and taxes. They often show up at protests with confusing slogans like, the guide classifies these groups as tactical contrarians, entities that align with your cause only to make it look worse. When asked to support tangible efforts like boycott, divestment, or sanctions, they reply, well, it's really not going to achieve anything, so why bother? The galactic left of perpetual panels. The left-wing pro-Palestinian coalition, while more principled, suffers from a chronic condition called infinite fragmentation syndrome. This is when a protest movement splits into smaller and smaller splinter cells until the only person you're allowed to protest with is your own reflection. The guide has observed that most energy is spent debating which type of falafel is most decolonial, and whether supporting a ceasefire is an act of liberal compromise or revolutionary betrayal. Meanwhile, bulldozers continue to eat villages like they're on a buffet tour, and the genocide is live streamed. For decades, the left has made very powerful statements, hosted extremely well-attended Zoom calls, and signed letters of condemnation so long they caused printer malfunctions on 3 continents. Unfortunately, none of these efforts stopped a single house demolition, sniper round, or illegal outpost. Their ultimate weapon, the intersectional social media thread, is capable of paralyzing any conversation into silence. However, it has no effect whatsoever on occupation forces, who are famously allergic to hashtags. The ultimate irony engine. The guide concludes that the apartheid state has survived, and even thrived, in part because its opposition on Earth has been too busy fighting itself, defining terms, or playing oppression Olympics. Meanwhile, actual Palestinians live and die under drones, curfews, and checkpoints, waiting for liberation strategies that don't require perfect
Even if it
ideological
means
consistency
genocide.
or a 3-month reading list. The manual notes, it turns out that to resist apartheid, you need more than good politics. You need courage, unity, and the willingness to be deeply, repeatedly unpopular in polite society. These are rare materials on Earth.